Real question, what's the top 5 most skilled fighters? Man, good question. So when we talk about most skilled, I don't know if you mean skilled like how well-rounded are they or how good they are at a certain skill set, but I'll just throw it in there. This is in no order, but the number 1 most skilled fighter is definitely
Islam Makhachev.
No matter how you want to slice it, the guy is incredibly skilled. His sambo is the best grappling arsenal I've ever seen in MMA. I'm not like an Islam Makhachev fanboy or anything like that. I like him. I'm a fan. I always look forward to his fights, but I'm not. If he loses, I'm not gonna be sad about it. In fact, I'm more of a fan of Dustin Poirier than Islam Makhachev. But goddamn, Islam Makhachev is so freaking well-rounded. The man came in, we thought he was like the Khabib second coming, especially when he comes to the grappling, right? And then it turns out this guy is just as good at striking as he is with grappling. Literally, he's so good. Then Ilia Topuria, bro. Looking at Ilia Topuria's record, let me pull it up here. Ilia, I think I've showed this on stream before. You guys should know this. Ilia Topuria is the second well-rounded fighter in my list. But the thing is, he hasn't really shown it that well in the UFC because he's just been knocking everybody's heads off. He hasn't needed it. But before Ilia Topuria came into the UFC, just take a look at his record. The man was submitting everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 submissions in a row. Professional fights. So it's obvious. I don't care if these guys are cans, you know, if they're Uber drivers, whatever. 7 submissions in a row is crazy, and most of them were in the first round. In fact, all of them except one, first round. And then when this guy came into the UFC, started knocking everybody out, and he still has one submission. Submitted Bryce Mitchell. Nothing says well-rounded more than this. So Ilia Topuria has to be there. So we got Islam Makhachev, we got Ilia Topuria. Next on the list, I would say he's very well-rounded, and that's exactly why he beat Alex Pereira. You know, he looks like the typical Dagestani fighter. You know, you would expect him to just be wrestle heavy, coming in there, guns blazing, wrestling, smashing, all that stuff. But he's such a good striker. And Ankalaev, let me even pull up Ankalaev's record. I'll be pulling up their records as I'm saying it. Ankalaev has a lot of finishes in the UFC, but there's this false narrative of him being boring, and it's mixed. Okay, so most of his decision wins, he instilled the grappling and edged it out, but he has a lot of knockouts and a lot of finishes in the UFC. Of course, he lost his first fight. Most fighters lose their first fight. You know, it is what it is. But Ankalaev is super well-rounded. Okay, so far I've listed Islam Makhachev, freaking Ilia Topuria, Magomed Ankalaev. Next on the list, I got Alexander Volkanovski. Super well-rounded. Volkanovski is not someone who you can say, oh yeah, Volkanovski, you can beat him if you stand and bang with him, or if you go in grapple heavy. If you guys remember the first fight between Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski, I mean, I thought, and the narrative was that, oh yeah, Islam has the edge when it comes to grappling, but Volk would have the edge when it comes to striking, and that fight ended up being the exact opposite. It did. It literally was. That was the first time I was like, okay, Volk's grappling is amazing and Islam's striking is actually amazing. All right, so we got Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, Magomed Ankalaev, Volkanovski, and then the final person I will put in there has to be
Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, man. I mean, what more can I say? What more can I say? I think he has all finishes, right? We've never seen Tom Aspinall pass the second round. I think he's only gone to the second round in one fight, which is just crazy. He just finds a way to finish it. You know, 4 knockouts in a row. Had a submission before that, knockout before that, submission. Just take a look at this. He's either knocking you out or submitting you, at least in the UFC. Freaking well-rounded, very fast. Like, I literally cannot tell if Tom Aspinall is a better striker than a grappler. So for example, even though Volk is super well-rounded, right, I can say, yeah, he's still better on the feet. He's still a better striker. He has a long reach. He knows how to use his. It's like 50-50, man. 50-50. I feel like Topuria is 50-50 as well, but he hasn't shown his grappling as much in the UFC, but his record just says it. But yeah, so I think that those are 5, right? So I got Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, Magomed Ankalaev, Volkanovski, and Tom Aspinall. I think that's an amazing list. I think so. You says Tybura gotta be up there. Oh man, how can I disrespect the great Marcin Tybura? What's your top 5? I'm curious.